Jared writes, the money is already spent. They need to make it work now. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Terrence Wright, finish what they started, complete the downtown train and move on. Evaluate it after the facts. Let's not just go from phase 1 to phase 2 without seeing an impact. But you know, when it comes to that streetcar, and this is on one level, I think the mayor was completely wrong. Phase 2 will make phase 1 even more successful. I mean, when you build upon it, I think it's going to work. But we'll see. This is just my opinion, okay? It's just my opinion. We're all entitled to it. I could end up being wrong. We will see. And then we can make our decision for ourselves. You know I'm right, Kina. Kashana, you know I'm right about that. Corey writes, women need to be honest, like my moms used to tell me when I was young. No woman in her right mind will get with a man just to get, you better have some money in your pocket. That's right. What is her famous song from, I believe, maybe the 80s, 70s? You got to have a job if you want to get with me. Now, why do I need a job if it's all about my personality? If it's all about that spark? What is she saying there? You got to have a job. That means that if you want some of this, you got to wine and dine me. You got to buy me things. When we go out to the movies, I don't want to have to pay. What is that? What is that, ladies? You go out on a couple of dates with a man, he makes you pay. Depending on the woman's mentality, she's going to be less likely to be friendly with him than if he paid for everything. What's the difference? What is the difference? Cruther writes, yeah, but sometimes a wet ass is all she wants, especially if she has her own money. It's a new breed of women out there these days, fellas. It's a whole new breed of women. Currently 8:05 a.m. in the Queen City. You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. We broadcast live at 7 a.m. each and every morning, Monday through Friday, from the city of Cincinnati. Superlative flows on people, politics, and pleasure. Kina writes, that's right. No romance without finance. Okay, Kina. If there's no romance without finance, how is that not a form of prostitution? Somebody tell that to Jerica, please. Because Jerica needs to know. These women are not joking. There are women out there that if you're not paying for things on the first date, they won't even let you have a second date. What is that all about? Why? She said it best. No finance, no romance. Okay? That's a very, very, very tacit form of prostitution. It's quid pro quo. You're paying for these things. So now, okay, I think you put enough money in the pot. Now we can get to the loving. What is the difference? Terrence Wright, I definitely don't want a broke chick either. There it is. Anybody got time for that, man? In 2016? Rhonda writes, me personally feel it's more disrespectful to be a broke over sexually active person than being a prostitute. At least he or she is getting paid for their services. Too many out here doing it for free. I'm just saying. Preach. Preach. I got to hear some preach sound effects for these great flows. Preach. Tell them there's a paradigm shift. So with all that being said, the real issue is the street form of prostitution, right? It's a blight. Nobody wants to see some streetwalker, right? And because it's illegal, that makes it even worse because it's in the shadows. Legalize it. Tax it. Okay? You know, get a list so who we know who the prostitutes are working in Ohio. Make sure they're tested. But who is the government to tell you what to do with your body? Here we go again. These politicians don't want the government in your life, but they want to put them in your bedroom. How is it the right of the government to tell a grown person what to do with their body? How is it their right? I mean, in this manner, in this context. How is that right? It's not right. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not just some man on the radio talking about more sex. It's not about that at all. Okay? It's not about that at all. It's just when you think about it intellectually, it just doesn't make any sense. B writes, the LGBT Thank you for that, because sometimes I forget. MOVE is not only a civil rights movement, it's an economical and makes economic sense to include this community. Don't get it twisted. It all comes down to marketing in this community and not offending them, because there is an LGBT in every race, creed, color, in every country in the world. You don't want to lose that portion of the economy. Yeah. Speaking of which, didn't Michael Sam recently come out and say that some of the worst discrimination he's faced was from inside the LGBT, and I think you're forgetting Q community? I believe he did. If I'm wrong about that, set me straight. Which is very, very interesting, because I've heard a lot about that. Like, I've talked to black people who are gay. They just happen to be gay. And they've told me that within the gay community, like, white gays discriminate against them. And I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can you argue as a gay person against discrimination from heterosexuals, but then you're willing to discriminate against black people who are gay? I'm telling you, everybody's caught up with their own self, man. They really are. Cruther writes, them same politicians are freaks undercover. And she mentions Hassard. Yeah, Dennis Hassard was the real super predator. That was the real super predator. Matter of fact, I think there's a HuffPost article with a similar title. Former Speaker of the House, when he was a wrestling coach many years ago, he basically took advantage of some of the young men who was in his charge, under his responsibility. From wrestling coach to sexual predator. Remember when NBC was a Dateline did To Catch a Predator? They could have caught Dennis Hassard. So this man was using his position to sexually prey upon the young boys. Matter of fact, one of them was so distraught that he committed suicide. Then Dennis Hassard got caught because he was taking money illegally and was using that money to pay off some of the people, some of these young men that he had taken advantage of in terms of hush money. That's what he got caught on. Because there is no statute, the statute of limitations had ran out in terms of him being charged for his crimes, I think, against humanity. We need to think about that. There should be no statute of limitations against rape. And if you're a sexual predator and you raped someone or took advantage of someone and you're charged 20,000 years ago, you should still be held accountable. I don't care how old the case is. Okay, it's like the laws are bent to benefit these pedophiles. And then Dennis Hassard was the same man who was like a crusader, claiming that homosexuals were predators themselves, and you gotta stop, man. You gotta preserve marriage and protect marriage from homosexuality. I'm telling you, the folks that's arguing the most about some of this stuff are the folks that's got skeletons in their closets. It's always been that way, always will be that way. Wait. Did somebody say J. Edgar Hoover? That's wrong, but you're right. You are absolutely right. Carolyn adds, the streetcar is looking more and more like the unfinished subway system here in Cincinnati. Shaking my head. I'm with you, Pat. Give me my money back. I'm with you, too. Little Buddha says, hi, Daddy. Hello, Little Buddha. This is grown folks' time. Shouldn't you be getting ready? Hattie writes, Nate, they saw the profit in trying to legalize weed. Yes, they did. And they're coming back, folks. I'm sharing this with my audience. Get your business affairs, get your money together. They are coming back. Weed, marijuana will be legalized for recreational use in this state within your lifetime. It is going to happen. The only question is will you be in a position financially to take advantage of it? There's nothing immoral about selling plants that people want to consume. I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing immoral about that. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. There's nothing immoral about it. If you are a member of a church and you have land, I've said this about the good folks out of New Prospect Baptist Church. They got all that land out there. They legalize it. They should have a conversation as a church family. Maybe they go into the marijuana business. There's nothing wrong about it at all. It's about self-sufficiency. There's nothing wrong about it. If you got a couple friends, maybe y'all got 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe you got 100 grand amongst yourselves squirreled away. Think about it. Okay? Because that's what matters. All that BS mean nothing. You know, when the bill collectors come and it comes time to take your family, that's what really matters, folks. And don't let these self-appointed moral guardians lie to you. Oh, it's wrong. Here in the Bible, Exodus 2:3, it says selling plants is wrong. Well, you know what? We're not going to pay attention to that particular verse. Isn't that what people do? You know, they pay attention to the verses in the Bible that they really want to and ignore the rest. Eric writes, did Bill Cosby escape his rape charges? I do not believe it. Why does she write, I am ready? That girl. Did Bill Cosby escape his rape charges? ? I do not believe so. I do not believe so. Brent writes white supremacy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Listen, I love the internet, and I'm really, really appreciative of everybody that's been holding me down. And I got some more news. The show is now been accepted to be on 2 more platforms. And again, I understand there's a lot of folks out there who are already listening to podcasts or online radio, and you might already have a platform that you're fond of. So my endeavor is to put this show on all the platforms that are available and relevant for your consumption. So you can now find the show on Google Play, and it's available for free. And also Player FM, which is, if you know anything about podcasting, is one of the more relevant podcast directories. And the show is now on their platform as well. Just do a search for The Nathan Ivey Show, and we'll come up. All right? Most def. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Tell one person about the show so we can, grow this project. And again, it's a beautiful Thursday. Beautiful weather, I'm reading. Get some time to get out and play in the sun. Enjoy yourself, okay? I'll be back tomorrow, as I said, at 7 a.m. My name is Nathan Ivey. One man, one microphone, one middle finger in the face of the status quo. And until tomorrow, 7 a.m., I'm out.